And the most of Ja Rule's videos, all the girls in his videos are light skinned or Latino, or whatever you guys are called. So like that was seen by us over here. If you acquired yourself one of those kind of girls as success, you're doing well, So
Oh wow.
there's a lot of brainwashing that's gone on over the years. So I've definitely been a victim of that, but I have unwashed myself now to realize that I mean you can like light skinned women, there's no problem in that, but to just like them because you feel that they are better than any other, I think that's wrong.
Yeah, my thing.
If I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead. Yeah,
I
no.
mean, I just wanted to piggyback off of him real quick because our stories are so similar, just in the reverse.
Right.
Because as Tim would say, light, bright, and damn near white.
Yes, ma'am. Fine as hell.
And I grew up on the east side of Buffalo, New York. So I grew up with my father in a predominantly black neighborhood. All my friends, all my family, they're all black. And I was like, I guess you have to call it the white sheep of the family at that point, right? I'm not the black
Mm.
sheep. I was the white sheep of the family. So I remember growing up, I would never ever date light skinned men. If you was as light as me or lighter, damn sure not white. I won't mess with you. I wanted somebody dark. And I had to realize this through years of growth that it was actually a self-hate for myself. And kind of like he said, I didn't want my children to feel the way that I felt being in a predominantly black family or a predominantly black neighborhood, being picked on because they were the lighter of their peers or family members. So I always made this promise that if I procreated, it would be with a dark skinned man. And I did so. And all of my children are darker than me. Like some days I've been asked if I was the babysitter for my daughter.
Mission
Like,
accomplished.
Wow.
yeah, they're like, oh, are you the babysitter? And I'm like, no, I'm her mother because she's a lot darker than I am. But again, I just wanted to piggyback off of that because I find it interesting how the colorism, it can be damaging, but it can be damaging in both ways, depending on the dynamics and where you were. And I also heard earlier that you're in the UK,
Yeah.
and I'm originally from Germany and
Okay.
military family, obviously. And I had a huge culture shock when I moved to the United States as a teenager. When I was a kid, I didn't see it so much because kids play with anybody, they don't care. But when I moved back as a teenager, I noticed the difference. And in Germany, I was never really asked what I was, right? I always was just presumed as, oh, well, you're American. That was their first, oh, you're American. They never really asked me if I was black or white or Spanish or
Mm.
anything. Oh,
Mm.
you're American.
Mm.
But then when I moved to the United States, I always got the question, well, what are you? And I'm like, what the hell you mean? What am I?
Mm.
It's,
I'm just me. I'm black and white. My mom's German and my father's black. So there's definitely a difference between when you're abroad, different places, different dynamics. But I just wanted to share that and piggyback off of that because that was real.
yeah.
Thank you for sharing that.
How y'all
Well,
doing?
thank you for your
Can
input.
you hear me?
Thank you,
Yeah.
Trey, for joining the show.
Yeah. Oh, my bad. I messed
No,
up.
I mean, to both of these young people's points, it's unique. Listen, I think us as everybody, sometimes, some of us don't admit that we don't like ourselves early enough. If you was hanging around me and growing up with my generation, I would have talked about your big nose and your big lips and how dark you were and how light you were and all that. I just wouldn't
African
go-
booty scratcher, burnt biscuit, all that stuff. Yeah.
light skin, bright skin, white boy, old yellow, mellow yellow, all that would have been in your
Jigaboos. I still don't know what the hell a
all that.
jigaboo
Hey,
is.
hey, the mayonnaise monkey.
And I think is we have to really accept us and our uniqueness within us. It just I've never been called out. I've never been called anything other than a ninja or my name when it comes to other races. All of these things that we talk about now only came from people with the big nose and the big lips like me and the wide footses. Is
And
it?
the white horses.
Yeah, they footses, not feet. They footses.
No, they feces.
Okay, some people say footses. I heard,
I heard
Footses,
footses.
feces.
yeah,
I heard
footses.
footses.
Footses, feces.
but I think, you know, it just goes to a greater dynamic of how we sort of internalize our looks, you know, and it sort of puts a cloud over us to really focus on being the best person we can be. You know, I don't. And could y'all show that picture of that fine chocolate sister right there? See, I've always
She
wanted to
wasn't
date,
chocolate. That lady is Hershey.
but she was
Okay?
blue. Look, but
She,
I'm gonna tell you
yo,
like,
she was
She
beautiful.
purple. She
but I'm gonna tell you
beautiful.
like it.
Is she
Yeah,
purple?
she's
Fine as
from
hell.
London. She's a Londoner.
Yeah,
She
she
fine, but she was born and raised in London, but her heritage ain't London.
She's Ghanaian.
So I think if, especially women in America, because most of us are talking and working within the dynamics of women in America. I think if sisters would just embrace their natural beauty, whether they light skin or dark skin, because I like them all. I've never been picky about light skin or dark skin. Some of my finest girlfriends were light skin. Some of my finest girlfriends were dark skin. My wife is a dark brown sugar looking, and I love them all. And I never discriminate in between because that limit my options. And you're a young man, you'll be a fool to limit your options. But, you know, again, people learn and they grow. I just think that as far as the sisters to sort of elevate themselves, they
But
have
see, Ferg, this is the problem with this picture. As beautiful as this woman is, I had to, you know, out of, you know, the internet, so I had to cross the name out. But the caption says, "She's beautiful, but I can never marry to have any woman this type of complexion."
but it goes to what my brother was
He
speaking
said,
about.
I want my children to be light skinned,
Yeah.
skinned.
Yeah. It goes to what my brother was
That's-
speaking about.
Right.
People sort of take on that like, I don't love myself, so I don't, you know, and I don't relate to myself. So self-hate is deep. That's a drug. So I'm gonna do everything to not look like me. You can't take away the big nose and the big lip. That's who we are.
Right.
And look
I
at
got
that, all that.
Yeah, see, I think
I got
she is
another joint.
absolutely gorgeous, and there's so many that are so dark complex. And again, like for me, I actually used to envy that. I never forget a question I asked my father one day because I was being teased because I was the lightest in the whole crew. And I said, Dad, like, you know, hey, where my color at? Like, you know, in a jokingly way. And he said, baby, it's okay. God ran out of brown paint that day. That was his answer to me. God ran out of brown paint that day. I'm sorry, but you're still a beautiful black woman, and always remember that. No matter how light you are, you're always going to be a black woman. And you might catch some heat because you're not, you know, you fall under like some stereotype, like, oh, like Honey said earlier, oh, she thinks she all that, she's stuck up, or you know, things of that nature. But again, he always explained that to me, but that is a root of constant belittling, whether you're dark skinned, whether you're light skinned. You just get that perception of, like you said, Trey, that self-hatred. Like, I don't like myself because I'm not who I'm not gonna say I'm not who I want to be, but I'm not accepted by those that I love. Does that make more sense?
You're not. The simple way that I would say it is, you're not who others want you to be.
Well, that is the part.
Let me ask you a question. For the lighter skinned people here, do you think colorism is taken serious from a light skin point of view? So if you're light skinned, so is your complaint as a light skinned person in terms of colorism, do you think that's taken more serious as opposed to a darker skinned person making a complaint about colorism?
Only to the poor people. This is an issue to the poor people. You're poor, I'm poor. This is an issue to us. To other races, has nothing to do with your light skin or dark skin. Now, I will say this, as it relates to the world, they also associate dark skinned brothers as being violent, dangerous. That's what they do. But
I know, because colorism is rooted in even in classism too, because even back in the days, the royalty, if you was dark, that meant you worked out in the field, and that meant you were a commoner. So the lighter you were meant you You didn't have to work out in the field and all that type of stuff. And
even
had
in
privilege.
Arabic countries, it's Arabic people like who run the stores and stuff here, and they will always tell me like, "Oh my God, you're so beautiful! Like with that skin color in my country, like everybody would love you. Everybody with this and that." So it's not just here; like it is kind of everywhere with
Yeah,
light
I
or
tell you,
darker skin.
it's historic. Even with the white people over here, the aristocrats of like the early 18th century. If you remember, like the kings and queens and so forth used to powder their face so they would literally be white. So that was all done because, you know, in terms of class. So it meant they weren't outside getting sunburnt, or, you know, it just meant we was in the house as the rich people wouldn't need to work. So colorism has a long history, not just amongst us blacks, but if, you know, if the slave owners can feel a way about how they are, then imagine how they push that narrative and agenda down to the enslaved. So it goes a very, very, very long way. Like you have to
So wait,
know the history.
I gotta add to this. Because, like, we love talking about colorism from the aspect of discrimination about black people, how it keeps us down. Yet, my brother here just pointed out a series of colorism inside the white community. I can add to that because let you be a redhead with freckles. They're coming after you in the white community. Let you be pale. Oh, don't be pale. Do not. I watch enough TV to know white people don't like pale people. You know, like when they're applying makeup, they'll do a shade darker. White people go get tans. They pinch their cheeks to add some color. You need a little bit of color in your skin. So let's, like, there's this concept of colorism. I've always found as it's a crutch that we use to make excuses for things.
So can I ask a real quick question? Because you asked a question and I wanted to answer it, but then everybody talked and I kind of lost my train of thought. So basically what you were asking is, when it comes to colorism, is there a difference in reaction or, let's say, outrage when it happens to a
Yeah,
darker skinned person than a lighter skinned person?
perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
So I do absolutely think that it is. There's a huge difference when it is if a darker skinned person speaks about colorism, no different than racism. There's usually a huge outrage. If a lighter skinned person is kind of like, oh, well, you know, you didn't face that. It wasn't even really that serious. You know, you were just light skinned. Like, what's the big deal? You know, kind of get over it. That's my opinion of
Right.
from my experiences.
Right.
But also to piggyback off of her, light skinned people, because we are considered to have had privilege, we can't glorify our light skin either. The same way brown skin can glorify their brown skin. So, for instance, there are plenty of songs that glorify brown skin, and I love it because my mama black, I'm black, my kids black. You know what I'm saying? But I am also light skinned. So when I think Danny Lee made a song called "Light Skin," and she was glorifying her light skin, they tried to cancel her. But you're not canceling nobody glorifying their brown skin. But it's considered that we had privilege, so it's like, why are y'all? We can't be proud of our light skin. We can't be proud of just who we are too.
Exactly. So for us, it's more or less like y'all already got the light skin card. Just deal with it. But
Yeah.
these darker skinned people, we have to uplift them because they don't always get that. They're not put on a pedestal. They're not looked at I'm trying to be correct here, like the European standard of beauty.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
So we have to
Eurocentric.
we have to give them their moment. You are right, because you could pass. You see what I
All
mean?
right. So with that being said, this clip is right what we're talking about right now. This is I'm gonna just let her explain it.
Hit dogs holler, they is hollering in her comments. Dark-skinned women who are on the better half of colorism often deny colorism. because they are the exception to the rule. That's the whole when a guy's like, oh, you're beautiful. I don't usually like dark-skinned girls, but you're. So they take that and they're like, oh, yeah, I am beautiful. Colorism doesn't exist because you like me, but you have a looser hair texture, or you know what I mean, or you have smaller features like myself. And that does not deny colorism. People just don't like. I've seen brown-skinned women, like women who are in between, be called dark-skinned because they have a bigger nose or bigger lips. People are features and colors. And just because you're on the better half of that, where you're not experiencing all of the hits, doesn't mean you deny colorism. Because I've been on both sides. I've been on the side where people were constantly like on me, like you're ugly, you're this, you're that. And I've also been on the side where people are like, oh, you're the exception to the rule. She ain't lying, y'all, and y'all is hollering. Be quiet.
So she's talking about women like Amara La Negra, that like the only thing that makes her features wise not look like a black person is that she don't have the black lips. You know, the black people full lips, and she got the small pointy nose, like you know. So, but Amara La Negra is my complexion. You know what I mean? Let me see if I can find a picture of her.
Right.
I was gonna say, yeah, can you? Yeah, I don't know who that is. But while you're looking, she makes perfect sense because you could be mixed or not even mixed. You could just have slimmer features, and so it doesn't make it so Afrocentric. So it's like, oh well, yeah, you're cute for a dark skinned girl, you know. But now she could be the same complexion, same hair texture, but have a big nose, and all of a sudden that might change the whole game. It makes sense. Features, textures, and complexion.
I mean, Amara looks black to me. She doesn't look like she has too many European features at all. Like, I mean, I don't have a wide nose, so
she got thin. She got thin.
She does
she
have
has
European features.
she got thin. Yeah, thin lips. Her nose is not cheek to cheek. You know what I mean?
Did she have work done?
She's from the island.
She's Afro Latina, so I don't know.
She is from the islands.
Yeah, she's West Indies.
She sings in Spanish.
But that's the beauty of the sisters. Some of y'all got big noses, some of y'all got small noses, big lips, small lips. African American is African American, no matter. That's why we are the goddamn fruit.
Amara La Negra would punch you in your nose, talking about I'm telling her she African American. No, I'm not. I'm not one of you.
But she don't want to claim the culture. She don't want to claim the African American culture.
That's what I was getting to.
You know?
I come across that a lot. Is that I've come across a lot of people that are darker than me and be like, I'm not black, I'm Jamaican. I'm not black, I'm Colombian. I'm not black, I'm this. I'm not black, I'm that. But and be blacker than a patent leather shoe. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You're on mute. You're on mute. You gotta unmute yourself.
I got him. I got him. Goddamn. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah, but you know why that is, though, right?
Huh.
So I think like there's a different attitude towards race in America than there is anywhere in the world. Maybe with the exception of South Africa. But so when non-African Americans hear the term black, it's more of a national thing than a race thing. So they're almost hearing you're pointing out that they're American. And when they think about black Americans, they think about all the stuff they watch on Maury Povich, all the stuff they see on Ricky Lake, all the stuff that, you know, that is all the negative stuff that is portrayed about black Americans, you know. And so the moment you then associate them with that, they try their utmost best to disassociate themselves with black or African American. But if you take the same person who is distancing themselves from being African American and put them in another country and call them black, they would accept that, but just not in America.
So, brother, I
Yeah.
have a question for you. Based off
Sure.
what you said as far as the information, so are you saying like there was a time heavily in other countries outside of America that they were showing the people within that country these shows that represented the worst of us as far as African Americans in America? Like they were showing the Ricky Lakes, the Jerry Springers, and all those shows were being
Yes.
part of the mind.
I can see what
Yes.
Okay, yeah,
Yes.
I always understood that.
So
Okay,
so it's oh, and for me, I'm raised in the UK, but I'm originally from Nigeria. So I remember being a kid in Nigeria, watching Ricky Lake,
okay,
watching all that sort of mess, all that
yeah,
representation of Black Americans, specifically Black American women.
yeah,
You know,
the chaos, yeah.
so instantly you are almost. I don't want to use the word brainwashed because brainwashed implies that you have dirt in your brain to have it washed, but it's it's a programming of of the utmost negative way you can view a female Black American.
I got you. And this
Yeah,
is
no,
my
I
So
can definitely add to that
so
because
once the moment you then ask me or suggest to me that I might be Black in America or I might be African American, I will do everything possible to take that image away from myself. Because
Hey,
the
so
positive
really, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
the
Finish.
positive Americans, I'm trying to think the positive like for me from my perspective over here, I couldn't name a positive American, a Black American to tell you, other than Malcolm or Martin Luther
Martin
King.
Luther King.
but
But
Mar-
outside
Maurice was next.
outs-
Maurice wanted to get his little. He been trying to interject
And
for a
then
while.
and then Jessica behind him.
sure.
yeah, no, I want to add to this aspect because I'm of Haitian descent, but I grew up in the United States. But I can tell you, amongst the Haitian community, there was a very clear distinction between being Haitian and being Black. Like there was a culture. Like the way he had described it was like, the way the way people see it in other countries is Black is a people. It's not just a race. It's a people, and there's aspects of that people because when you say Italian, you have an image that pops in your head. When you say American, you have an image that pops in your head. No matter what nationality or ethnicity you state, you have this image that pops in. But when you hear Black, especially Black American, there's an image that pops in your head. It's not a very great image. Nonetheless, they don't want to associate themselves with that image. I'm not saying Haitian image is any better, but you want to be associated with the image that you are, right? I remember a long time ago, which is something I had to fix in me. I did not like being called African. I'm like, I'm not African. And this dude was like, why are you getting so offended that somebody calling you African? And then I was like, I had to check that within myself because it was something I was trying to push away. But nonetheless, that's kind of like a big one is Dominicans, man. Dominicans darker than me. They will tell you straight out, hey, I know Black. That's their famous phrase. And that's how they go about it. But because there's an association.
And that's the same island too, huh?
Oh yeah, oh man. When it comes to colorism, if you want to talk about colorism,
Yep.
you look at Haiti and the relationship between Haiti and the Dominican Republic. Dominican Republic literally had an ethnic type cleansing that was
Blanqueamiento.
Yeah, they were trying to whiten the complexion of the people. It's one of the reasons why they don't like Haitians coming over, because then there's going to be mixing that happens. It's going to darken the complexion of the people. So yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's all nuts.
Well, I think you pretty much already answered the question. I'm always interested, and Maurice touched on it as well, as far as what the outside world actually views as Black America, as far as is it influential through our music and TV shows and things like that. So my question was pretty much based on that, but I think y'all pretty much touched on that.
I have a question.
Well, I'm sorry,
Amongst all the,
but I remember Honey had asked a question about our experiences, but I don't know if we got our way around.
I was about to I was just about to ask that question.
Oh, okay, okay.
So, what do you guys, all the men on the panel, what are your experiences in of your own colorism, and did you have some of your own when it came down to preference? But I do want to make a statement. There is a difference between preference and colorism, or is preference colorism?
I mean, if I, like I said, I grew up in the States, and y'all see my complexion. I ain't no light skinned dude at all, and I was like the black dot in my school photos, like, because I was surrounded by white people. Everybody, I didn't see another black person until I got to middle school. So I was always surrounded by white people. My first crush was a white girl, I remember. And hey, man, that was my upbringing. Don't laugh at me too hard now.
You fucked up now. That's all I got to say.
Did she break your heart?
Hold on. Yeah. Like I said, my first crush was. I remember all the white boys I used to hang around. All they would talk about was Cindy Crawford. Cindy Crawford this, Cindy Crawford that. I didn't know who Cindy Crawford was, but that was like the pinnacle, right? You don't know who or what looks good until you start talking with your boys and you realize and then Cindy Crawford is supposed to be the pinnacle of beauty, right? I remember not understanding that. Like, it didn't quite click to me because I'm over here watching Saved by the Bell and I'm checking out Lisa. I'm over here, there was Melissa, what's her name from Who's the Boss? What's her name?
Alyssa Milano.
Milano was on the list. I remember. Topanga was definitely on the list.
Topanga. Yeah.
Everybody liked it. Topanga. Even I liked it. Topanga.
What y'all doing, fellas? Y'all know not to do this live. What are y'all doing?
Look, I like
Topanga was definitely a blend.
Yeah, I mean, Topanga was my favorite.
With that light complexion, which was a nice, dare I say it, exotic blend.
Wow.
Welcome to the stage, Neo. But hold on real quick.
Who let Neo in the room?
And then because what he's describing is that when you're young, you don't, like we mentioned earlier, you don't see that color. Like Jesse said it too. When you're young, kids play with everyone. It's like that colorism and all of that is learned. You learn that, like Maurice was saying, you get to talking with your buddies and you begin to develop a sense of wanting to fit in. Like, if they saying that this person is fine, then I'm supposed to think that they fine because I want to fit in.
Yeah, I mean, I essentially got to the point where once I was in my my exploration phase, I was definitely, like, to this day, Nia Long is at the top of my list of the most beautiful women. Like, that's me. That's my preference. That's what I choose. So, funny enough, though, all of my girlfriends, though, have always been lighter complexion than me. But nonetheless, I actually prefer darker skinned women. But
I got a question. It's gonna rattle some cages, but I don't give a fudge. Do you guys that have dated between the light skin and the dark skinned woman feel like that there is some behavioral differences?
So I was going to get to that. One of the reasons why I usually ended up with light skinned women is because the dark skinned women used to tease me all the time about what? My skin color. This was, remember, I had limited interactions with Black people, and the few that I did interact with that were women were constantly on me about my skin color. So I just stayed the heck away from them. They were mean, they were nasty. I didn't want to deal with them. And it's just not like, but I don't know if I ever drew a distinction to say, dark skin, let me stay away, because I always still had this attraction for dark skin. So I maintained my attraction for dark skin, but in the same sense, when I came across dark skin, and one of the reasons why I end up with light skinned women is because when I come across dark skinned women that I may or may be attracted to, they're usually pretty mean.
So would you say dark skinned women are aggressive?
I said that's my experience.
This is his
I'm
experience.
asking.
That's my anecdotal
That was
experience.
a question.
And they usually make a lot of comments about skin color. Like I said, I'm not a light skinned brother. I'm pretty dark. And they were on me all the time about my skin color.
Maurice, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Did Becky break your heart?
Who?
Becky.
With the good hair.
I never had a Becky.
Hold up. Hold up. Did you say you date? Hold up.
I had a
Didn't
crush.
you,
It was like, what, second grade?
oh, you never dated one that you were.
Becky.
Oh, you
I
never
think he's
dated
taking it literally, like a Becky, like
Yeah.
a,
No,
a
listen.
white girl
Have
called
you ever
Becky.
dated a white girl ever in your life?
You talking to me?
Yes, sir.
You said second grade.
I understood Becky. I've never dated a Becky, never dated a
Okay.
white girl. Never did.
Okay, cool.
What you
Yeah,
were saying about the second grade then? Hold on. You said second grade.
No. So you coming in late, now you're asking me to retract this whole story. It was
He said he had a
first
crush on a
crush.
girl in second grade that was a
He
white
had a
girl.
crush.
That's who
He
broke
didn't
his
get a.
heart. That's who broke his heart right there. There you go. There you
Damn.
go, brother. That's who, Trey. That's who broke his heart.
Okay. So explain why I tend to date light skinned women then, versus my attraction towards dark skinned women.
I mean, you explained it yourself.
You couldn't get
Yeah.
Becky.
No, I'm talking to Neo, because Neo got all the answers.
Oh
so.
no, you
Oh.
explained it yourself. You said you couldn't get Becky, so you got the closest thing to Becky, which was light skinned women, because dark skinned women was mean, and Becky's was just didn't even see you.
So explain my preference for dark
That
skin
might
women.
be something.
Go ahead. No, you gotta take the whole picture in. You can't just leave out the convenient stuff.
Your preference for dark skinned women is non-existent because
I'm just crazy now. Cool.
You said you went with the conditions that was put before you, which was light skinned women. You took the lesser evil. That's what you said.
Oh,
Hey, that's
shit.
that's the golden rule that all men follow, though, man. You know, we gotta like who like us.
Yes.
Hey,
And I'll
that's
say
what
this,
he said. He trying to deny it. He can't even stand on that.
Maurice, I will
Well,
agree
I
with
was
Maurice, I think you agree with me with this. And now when you say light skin and dark skin, when it comes to women, I will give the nod to the browner skinned sister as being having the finest bodies. That's just me though. Hey,
Oh no.
Oh man, don't be starting no war between us and them light skinned folks.
I'm just saying, the best
I
thing.
feel attacked.
Listen, no.
I feel attacked for you.
I feel attacked.
See now, listen, see how they feel attacked? So who's the finest of the sisters? Who got the best body? Because the mind, it don't matter they light skin, dark skin, because sometimes it can get a little woozy.
It just
Get
depends
caught
on. It just depends on who was lucky enough to be blessed, because they
Yeah,
got
I
some.
don't see the correlation.
They got some fine, bodied up yellow bones. They got some fine, bodied up, blacker than the skillet. So it just depends on who blessed and who not.
I want to go to Neo because I know he got a story.
So why can he against any of
Once
them?
he started, he
Oh, Lord, right.
you know how he is.
Oh, I don't like. I
Hold
ain't
on,
with,
I
ain't with this
can't
shit,
let y'all.
Trey.
I can't let y'all talk about Jess. So I got this video I found of Jess when she was in the
Do not
club.
start.
So.
This motherfucker.
That's right. Bump. That's right.
Look at it.
Level up.
Look.
Level up.
She
Level
might
up.
be a
Level
pencil,
up.
but she
Level
got
up.
buns. The baby
That's
got
right.
like
Hey.
baby got mad back right there. Okay.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Tim.
As a BBL.
But I would like to ask Mr. One Love, do you have any experience where with the dark skinned woman being more aggressive than the lighter skinned woman?
Yeah, I have. I can't think of any specific ones. Well, I can, but I'm not about to do that. But yeah, I can think of those experiences quite easily.
Alrighty.
But
I don't know if it comes from like directly related to the color. Like dark skinned women are aggressive, but dark skinned women may have went through more shit that turned them aggressive. So it could have been a product of colorism. You know what I'm saying? Like a result of it.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Maybe it's just a result of being, I don't know, picked on, teased. Most
This is
people would think that I'm pretty aggressive, even though I know when to shut the fuck up and when to talk. But you know, a lot of that was built through my character from growing up, from being teased or being bullied, or for whatever reason. It doesn't even matter if it's colorism, just life in itself. And
like this
sometimes
is
we tend to adapt to a defense mechanism. It's not necessarily intentional. It's just
Yeah,
something that human beings adapt.
I think it's a defense mechanism.
this
That's
this
exactly
is
what I think.
this is totally off topic, but I'm just thrown off. He's sitting in the passenger seat driving on the other side of the road. It's killing me. Like, wait.
I was looking at that too, and I was like,
London is a
"Oh
Londoner.
yeah, that's right. He in
Look.
UK. They on the
Yeah,
opposite
man,
side
London
of
is
the."
a Londoner. Let him be.
He said, "Our American
I
UK
didn't even
accent sucks
It
booty
just threw
crack."
me off. I'm like,
Feel
hold
like
on.
he's
I
about
didn't
to
even
wreck.
think of that. Oh shit.
He driving like the mailman over here. You know what I'm saying? That's the mailman sit on that side over here. But you driving on the road. It's just crazy to see it. Like the car, this driver's seat on that side, and you drive on the other side of the road. Like, hold on, this just look wild.
And that's a Tesla. You married?
Look,
Look, imagine us going. Look, imagine us going over there driving one of their cars. We've been
man,
had
I'll be the
all types
crap.
of
I'm gonna
accidents.
have like
Yeah,
13
I
wrecks.
wreck.
Yeah, I'm a wreck all day long. But
I
as
like your
far like,
car.
Oh my
but
god.
let me throw another video clip on here. Speaking
Hey.
conversation. Bro.
This woman is saying that when us bitches talk about colorism, we also need to talk about how a lot of dark-skinned girls are hateful towards light-skinned women for no reason.
Yep.
So black women, let's talk about it.
What's up with this
Side
echo?
note, do y'all notice that subtle change in language between dark-skinned girls and light-skinned women? I'm
Can we get a
telling you,
pause?
people expose their biases unintentionally. It's wild.
It
What
was
is up with
echoing,
that
by the way.
echo? Like the whole thing. What is up with that echo? Can you mute and then see if it still play?
Talk about colorism, we also need to talk about how a lot of dark-skinned girls are hateful towards light-skinned women for no reason.
Press play. I want to see if it's your feedback.
Maurice, mute up.
Oh shoot, my bad.
This woman is saying that when us bitches talk about colorism, we also need to talk about how a lot of dark-skinned girls are hateful towards light-skinned women for no reason. So black women, let's talk about
That's
it.
perfect right there.
Side note, do y'all notice that subtle change in language between dark-skinned girls and light-skinned women? I'm telling you, people expose their biases unintentionally. It's wild. Now moving on. Now, I acknowledge that some light-skinned women experience bullying for their complexions. And I have no problem with you guys creating spaces to discuss that. But those discussions should not be weaponized against dark-skinned women when we're talking about being oppressed by colorism. Colorism that is not just social, but systemic as well. And let's be clear, the taunting you guys receive from some dark-skinned women is not colorism. Oftentimes, it's resentment towards the fact that light-skinned women are placed on a pedestal while dark-skinned women are crushed underneath it. 9 times out of 10, that little chocolate girl in 4th grade was not pulling your hair or calling you white girl because she felt that light skin was inferior. She was projecting the hurt of being taught that her skin was inferior. And that is not a justification, I promise. All of this shit is tragic because colorism is just a byproduct of white supremacy anyway. And it has served to divide a community that is already fractured.
Ooh.
Hey, I said she said some real shit on that live.
No, she said a bunch of bullshit, but she did. That was a bunch of nonsense. That's what that was.
You think it's a bunch of
That was
bullshit?
ignorance. That was ignorance. That's what I heard.
Let me say this, and
Y'all
I'm gonna
trolling.
keep it a buck. I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all. The most bullying I got growing up was from dark skinned girls.
Say it louder.
It was from dark skinned girls. And it was and I was the cool girl. Like you want to go to the store and get some now and laters, you want some sunflower seeds, like I'm trying to be cool with you. But because her little boyfriend or her little crush said good morning to me, oh, you think you all that? Because I had the better hair. I'm not gonna say good hair because I don't think I have good hair. I have maybe a better grade, a different grade of hair, but it's not better. Oh, you think you all that because you when they used to fight me, I got in so many fights growing up, and it was never with a light skinned chick. I promise you. I promise you. It was always with a dark skinned woman or a dark skinned girl because she was mad that her boyfriend said good morning to me. Or because I thought I was all that. So you know what? On this one, I gotta be truthful. I never got bullied by the Puerto Ricans, the Mexicans, the Asians, the light-skinned ones, the half-breed ones. Nope. It was always my dark sisters that bullied me growing up. To this day,
You're saying what she said in the video though, Jess. She's saying
my
that she
my
said in the
best
video.
friend is Puerto Rican. You know why? Because I don't fit in with white folks. I don't fit in with my black sisters. So I kind of look Puerto Rican. I just need to throw in like puta and chancleta and a couple of Spanish words, and I fit in.
That ain't
Hey,
what she said in that video.
Goonie Google.
Goonie Google.
That ain't what she said in that damn video.
Now, what she said in that video was literally what just described.
It's not.
No, she didn't.
Can
No, she
I
didn't.
get it out? Can I get it out? May I please? That she said in the video that the reason why a lot of those little dark girls picked on the light girls is not because they consciously believed and understood what was going on in that child's mind. They thought, oh, she thinks she's better than me because she's white. But what it actually was it was resentment from being told that they were ugly their whole lives solely because they were dark and the light-skinned girls were put on the pedestal. That's why they was fighting and picking on that. Like what Jess just said, the girl wanted to fight because her boyfriend looked at her and instead of, and that dark girl's mind, it was because she was light-skinned in her mind. You don't say that it's just what it was in her mind. It could not even be nothing. It was a resentment that they developed from being told their whole life that you're ugly because you are dark. Period. End of sentence. And light-skinned girls could be I've seen a whole bunch of ugly face light-skinned girls that dudes would be like, oh man, she fine. You light-skinned this shit. Like, no. Light skin is not a prerequisite to automatically make you fine. So
I respond to that.
I think what I was balking to was the fact that she's excusing.
We're gonna let you go, Neo.
Yeah, I'll finish up. Yeah, the fact that she was excusing the behavior that child had.
She didn't excuse it. She said
I don't think that was an excuse.
She said in the video, by no means is this justifying it. She said that. She explicitly said that.
I mean, that's that whole I'm gonna say this, pay it justice, and then move on, because that's not what we need to worry about.
No, it's a cause and an effect. You don't have to like the effect, but that's the cause and effect.
That's exactly what I want to get away from. It's not a cause and effect. The cause was, whatever, this little black girl was teased, or probably from her parents. Honestly, it's probably where it came from, some family members that are talking to her a certain way, and then that resentment's built within her, which I get it, it's not her fault, but she doesn't have to react that way. Because like I said, I was bullied. I was spoken by my parents and my family about my color, but I didn't hold. I may have built some resentment, but it didn't come out in bullying other people. Right?
How are we going to tell people how to react?
No, it's justifying the reaction. That's all I'm talking about.
I don't think no one justified the action. It was a cause and an effect. You saying it didn't have to cause that, and I'm saying, who are we? to say how someone else should react off of their trauma. Just because your anecdotal or many, let's generalize this thing, many reactions may not been that way. It's not for us to tell people how to react to trauma. Now, I ain't say shit all day about this colorism thing as a chocolate woman that definitely was bullied by both, because I'm in Philly. We're a melting pot of everything in one little fucking hood. So I've been bullied by dark-skinned women, light-skinned women, Puerto Rican women, never a white woman, even though I welcome that. Please try. I never got bullied by a white woman, ever. A white man, ever. And I definitely went to school with them. I tried to bully one until I see her whoop somebody else's ass. And I was like, oh shit, white people can fight. I was like, oh shit, let me befriend her. We became great friends. Because I don't believe in getting my ass whooped. Just don't do that. But I will say this, as a black woman, a dark-skinned black woman that was bullied by dark-skinned other black women, I never, and I'm not telling you guys how to react off of your trauma, but I could say I never, ever thought that a dark-skinned woman would be more combative than a light-skinned woman, because I seen them both do the same shit. Just one did it with a fucking smile, which was more offensive.
See, and that's what I'm saying. This is why I wanted this. This is why I wanted to have this conversation and have the conversation be centered around our individual experiences, because I dated dark-skinned girls and light-skinned girls, Puerto Rican girls, light-skinned, dark-skinned, right? So I've dated the whole everything. I ain't never went all the way to, the pink, the peach crayon. I never got that far, but I have experience being called black and ugly by dark-skinned girls and light-skinned girls. So I've dated light-skinned girls that were bitchy. I've dated dark-skinned girls that were bitchy. I've dated dark-skinned girls that were sweet as pie. I've dated light-skinned girls that were sweet as pie. So my experience is that these particular character traits are absolutely not tied to complexion. It's just everyone is an individual. But when we get to a place to where we start to, like the girl in the video say, put certain traits on the pedestal, like Kodak said, the light-skinned girls, they more soft, the dark-skinned girls more ratchet. That's when it becomes problematic. And the only way we get those perceptions is either from experience or just listening to other people talk about their experiences.
Well, and just to add to that, I know that you and I are in a lot of the same groups together and stuff like that. Like, I, for one, it irritates my soul when I see those stupid posts, like when they post a Latina or a light-skinned girl and be like, yeah, because I went and got my passport, or because y'all can't touch this. Y'all black women can't never touch this. And I'm like, on behalf of the light-skinned folks, I don't co-sign this shit, love who you love, be with who you want to be with, but never use it as a justification because of somebody's behavior due to race. Like, I don't rock with that shit at all.
I want to add to that, because I always thought that was ultimately offensive to your offspring.
Yeah.
Like,
no,
ultimately offensive.
A lot of that,
like she said, like Jesse said, at one particular time, I ain't fit in with white people because I was too black. I ain't fit in with the black people because I was too white. Now, all these guys, whether it's a guy and girl, because women do it too. I seen women, especially in my ladies' posts, where they was coming at men's necks. Fuck his juggler. Like, they was coming at these at black men. And I have to remind people in this gender war shit, you do understand black as one race. It is not genderfied. It has no gender fucking limitations. It's one race. So when I made my post, I'm not gonna say what it was because we on YouTube. When I made my post, I had a bunch of white men come in and be like, well, listen, blah 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 blah, me if sound racist, but hey, my post was basically pro-black, super pro-black, like threw a white man under the damn bus. So I automatically thought he was going to defend himself. My whole point of saying this, guys, I made this post knowing that white people will say some racist shit to defend themselves. at the fucking least to defend themselves. So I am not going to tell this white man he has no right to defend himself or react off of some shit that I said that made him feel that way. He can feel whatever way he want to feel. I'm gonna say what the hell I said, and I'm gonna mean what I said, and stay 10 fingers up on that. So
I'm
can
gonna
he.
call that.
Everyone have a right to they to how they respond. But I will agree with Maurice. What how you respond do speak volumes to your trauma. I think
I'm gonna
everybody's
call
been saying
Cap.
that all day.
I'm gonna call Cap because this black ass nigga took my turn, and all y'all black ass motherfuckers just act like y'all forgot about it,
I
and
was about to remind
y'all
you,
was
Barry.
support. Y'all was
We thought you was
supporting that
asleep.
shit. No, they was in unison. They had a conspiracy going on.
I was about
Oh,
to
I'm
remind
sorry.
you, bro. I
I'm
promise.
sorry.
I
I'm
promise.
sorry,
Yo,
Neo. You are supposed to go next.
Morphine was on a roll, man. I didn't want to stop her. So
Yeah, I bet. I see what it is. I see the goddamn split. I see the divide. But I'm
We
gonna say
sorry.
I'm
I'm in the
sorry.
middle. I'm in the middle, right? So I didn't really face a lot of it. I was able to date all of the shades, and I might have not been their first pick because light skinned women want dark skinned men, and I'm not dark skinned. But then dark skinned women want light skinned men, and I'm not really light skinned. So I was in the middle. I wasn't their first pick normally, but I was all of them go to. I was the go to guy from white, black, light skin, dark skin, Chinese, Mexican, ching chong, everything. But to goddamn Goonie Goon Goon motherfucker. Like, yeah.
Y'all better stop calling them goody goo goos. They not. In
We
Philly,
waited all that time for that.
we call them gualas because of Guala Guala Island and shit. It was like one of the first little introductions to the kids about Spanish before Dora the Explorer came, and we call them gualas in Philly.
I forgot what I
Y'all
was
had,
about to say.
y'all had Guala Guala Island. We had Gullah Gullah, so I don't know.
It is Gullah Gullah, but we Philly, we fuck everything up.
Hey, Gullah Gullah
Gullah
is not
Gullah.
even Gullah Gullah, not even Spanish. That's like
No, they had
Caribbean.
Spanish shit in there. Yes, it did.
Morphine, can I
I was
say something to you, Morphine?
I remember Gullah Gullah Island, bro.
Morphine, can I say something to you?
Yes.
Hey, you know, it's really been a pleasure just seeing how you've grown in this time that I've met you. You know, I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Your true strength is starting to really shine out there right now. So, you know, I appreciate that, man. You look at all your natural beauty is starting to come out.
Damn, what the hell
You ain't got the nails no more. You ain't got all the
Is this the
extras.
pop the
Your skin is
balloon
starting to shine.
version?
I
Tim,
don't
play
know,
some
but
slow music,
chocolate
Tim.
is
Play some slow
blushing.
music.
Okay.
She's turning into mush, bro.
No, but you're
melted all
really
that chocolate.
growing. You know what I'm saying? And your message and your voice is opening up. So young ladies need to hear that on a good, you know, positive level. So yeah, I appreciate that.
I don't want to take away from Miss Fields and what Maurice was saying about how they feel, how they're not feeling, because you know feelings override their actual experience. I don't want to downplay their experience. It's something that they said that I do think and I do agree with, and it is that dark skinned women have a very much harder life than the light skinned woman, and it is very projective. Like we do very much so project that on what we see in the mirror and what we see that identifies us as chocolate men and chocolate other I'm sorry, as chocolate people. Now I will say I also experienced a bunch of chocolate women picking on a more lighter skinned woman and dark skinned men. Was I one of them? I ain't pick on Shorty, but she just had this I could say whatever I want with no repercussions attitude. And I didn't quite like that. Now, maybe because as a dark skinned woman, I can't walk around and say what the fuck I want to say and shit. So I just felt like, okay, you could do that with other people, but soon as you part them lips to say that to me, I'm going to take all opportunity to show you how dark skinned women act in these streets. Now, was it the best reaction? Probably not. Probably not. Probably not. You know, I did get suspended and expelled for that shit.
Expelled?
But did I regret it? No, I don't. I don't regret it.
You said
Yeah, I got expelled. Expelled. I got expelled for that fight.
Did you put your hands on her?
Oh yeah, man. Slept her all across that room. Poor
Well,
thing.
if you don't mind me saying something, and this might sound a little corny, but please know that it is so genuine. It really is. I've felt this way for decades, having gone through the I won't say hatred, just the bullshit. Let's just call it bullshit. Because I don't think it was so much hatred. I feel that a lot of us as sisters, you know, we come in all different shades. You know, I'm light, bright, and damn near white. You know, we got chocolatey chocolate, we got Hershey bar, we got dark chocolate, we got all these different complexions. But at the end of the day, we're all sisters and we're all black. And I have to say, it is society's fault that we had this divide, because so many times entertainment and rappers and movies, they put the lighter skinned women on the pedestal while diminishing the darker skinned women. And I can honestly say, I can so honestly say, like, for example, people think I'm crazy. Michonne from Walking Dead. I know y'all done seen Michonne.
She's so beautiful to me.
She is so freaking beautiful. Like, when I see her, I'm like, damn, she's beautiful.
Except for
like,
when she does that ugly cry, though, she can keep.
But no, the ugly. Well, we all got to
wait. What you say, Maurice? What she got the what?
You don't want to see my ugly cry. I look like Kerry Washington. Like,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
no,
she
you don't
do
want
got
to see
the
that.
ugliest cry. Like the
Yeah.
ugliest cry. Like,
But my
they shouldn't
point
put that
is
on
that,
TV.
you know, I really feel that we as sisters, we didn't do this to one another. We just ran with the narrative. We saw the covers of the magazines, and we saw the, you know, and then this boy, you know, maybe he didn't want to talk to you, but he wanted to talk to the light skinned girl, or vice versa. And I think that like somebody said earlier, I'm not sure, I don't remember who, but we were programmed to initially just kind of like not like one another. When at the end of the day, we all sisters.
We
That
are
was
the
our
only
British
group.
brother.
But
Our
hold
British
on,
brother
because
said that.
what Jess is saying is, think about it. We're the only ones that are so what's the word I want to use? We are so enamored with the concept of complexion that we break ourselves down into categories. They came up with the paper bag thing, but we embraced it. It's a whole rap song. Watch these rap dudes get in your guts. French vanilla, butter pecan, chocolate deluxe, even caramel sundaes is getting touched. Like, we embraced the colorism and separation.
What song is that? Can you drop it in
never
my
heard
DM?
Cream, Wu-Tang,
Ice
Wu-Tang.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Go ahead,
Ice
y'all.
cream
I'm sorry.
Wu-Tang, yeah. But you don't see, like, has anybody that has, you know, friends of different races heard them refer to themselves as a spectrum of different colors? Like, oh, you know, I'm not white, I'm dark skinned white. You know what I mean? Or
I have. Yeah.
Yellow.
I've only heard Latino people. I live in California. I've heard them say the light skinned Mexican and the dark skinned Mexican. I never heard them say brown skinned Mexican, caramel Mexican. I never heard that.
It's just, to me, it's just an overall. It's an overall European beauty standard. So the light skinned people, because they are closer to European complexion, are going to be put on a pedestal. And I actually hate that. Like, I don't like that. Like I said earlier, when I see the stupid post, I'll be like, yeah, nah, we're not doing that, bro. Like, nah, you're not about to diss my sister. You just say she's beautiful because she's light skinned, when this sister is just as beautiful as in her dark skin. Fuck you very much. We're not doing that. You know.
It happens in the Spanish community too.
But again, I think that just society, entertainment, and then let's not forget social media has hyped it, because now all we got to do is hit send. Like back in the days, we used to have to go to the
Like,
newspaper stand and get a newspaper or the magazine. Now all we got to do is pick up our phone.
Yeah,
like,
Yeah.
like check this out. Like with Telemundo, if you watch Telemundo, you would get a false impression of what Spanish people look like
true.
because it's only light
Absolutely.
skinned people on Telemundo. I dated a Spanish chick, and that's when I realized that she pointed it out too. It was colorism going on right there. The light
Yeah,
skinned people got the roles on TV shows, but the majority of Mexicans was darker than the
dark
people
skin.
on those TV shows.
Yes.
Yeah, same thing with the
Exactly.
Asian
So
community.
what
A lot of them don't.
what
The
can
dark
you
skinned ones
do
don't
to
never
the
get on
eye?
TV.
Yeah.
It's
Can
all
I say
about
this?
European standards.
Can I say this? Regardless of what complexion we are, whether we male or female, guess what? Dark skinned black folk kill dark skinned black folk, and light skinned black folk kill, delete light skinned black folk. What? Tell me, am I seeing something wrong or something? I mean, think about it. We
No,
colorists,
what?
regardless of what complexion we are, and it's sad for real, especially in this modern time. I think we understand that people who with the good hair that can't really breathe within the hot air and can't stand out in the sun, they have a different way of thinking when it comes to us and a different agenda. I think now that we in a time where we see it, you got to look at your surroundings and say, I want to do better. I want to live better. And then that'll take care of your history and that'll take care of your children's future. But right now, I don't know. Shit. We all poor. Everybody on here got to go get a job tomorrow, work tomorrow. The children got to go to school or they in summer school. Are your children learning how to read better? No. Are boys getting stronger? Or is somebody taking advantage of the children that we're caring for? Because our future's at stake. I just hope we can figure it out, man, because this is scary.
I wanted to say
Mhm.
something earlier to what Ms. Fields was saying in regards to society, but I guess just because what you just said right there, I don't want to dismiss that because it's an important point. I've always it's one of the things I said in the beginning about colorism. It's such a cop out and a distraction from a lot of other important things that we really should be paying attention to, and this problem would be corrected if other problems were addressed. But to add to what Ms. Fields was saying, I remember she was saying something along society's to blame. I usually balk at the idea of people blaming society because society is just built up of people. So if you're going to blame society, essentially you're blaming people. And which people are these that you're blaming is usually what the real question is, because it's not all the people, it's some of the people. And you got to figure out what those people are doing. And if I had to group it to actually address this issue of colorism, I would have to say the primary people is, well, the primary people are parents. Like I've seen, like I said, based off of my experiences and some shared experiences I've had with other people, parents are the first ones to start talking about the complexion of their black children. And they just start ingraining this idea of light skin, dark skin, which is better, which is worse. There's also even this like teasing that happens. So obviously it depends how severe it is, but at the very least it plants a seed. And once a seed is there, all it takes is a music video, boyfriend and girlfriend situation that's happening at school to confirm that whatever your parents planted, that she was right or he was right. They was right when they said this about me. These big lips, this big nose, it's a problem. This is so there's that aspect. And I think why it's also a lot more prevalent amongst women, I would have to say, because it seems to be coming from women mostly. And I think hypergamy has a lot to do with it as well. Because you got all these men of status that are constantly in view that are pushing the idea of having light-skinned women with them. So that kind of creates this, okay, more confirmation to that parental seed that was planted.
So isn't it more both parties, not just men, not just women? It's both of them. I mean, everything you just said it was both parties. I would like to say that you said something about it's not society, or if you're saying it is society, then it is people. Your parents are the people, or the society.
I mean, that's what I said.
So
And,
all
and
of those can interloop with one another.
but
And I
here's
do think it's both, it's men and women.
it is both men and women, and I just want to piggyback to what Maurice said, because I do actually have biracial children that I can see facing some of the same challenges that I faced growing up. Um, you
Would they be
know,
considered biracial?
huh?
They're like quarter, like 3/4, one quarter.
Right, like they got way
Right,
more
right.
black than German in them, baby.
They're
Like
octoroons. They're octoroons.
You can tell they're not all
one
black.
more generation
Okay?
and y'all back to black.
I know we working on that. We working at that. But what I'm trying to say is, like, there have been instances, especially when William went to middle school. Elementary school wasn't that big of a problem, but when William went to middle school and it was a predominantly white school, he was very isolated. Now, when he was at his elementary school, it was a predominantly black school, so they were more accepting of him in the elementary school. But when he went to this white school, I'll never forget the first day after school, he came home. I'm like, "Hey, baby, how was your day? Did you have a great day?" He says, "What in the redneck school did you sign me up for?" That's his words out of the babe's mouth. And I said, "Baby, I didn't sign you up for that. That's how this works. It's districts, blah, blah, blah." But, as time passed, I could see that he was isolated. And I had to have that conversation with him, like, "Baby, your father's black, your mother's half white and half black. So yes, you're a black boy, but y'all have seen a picture of my sons. They don't fit the typical black. Matter of fact, they look like Trey. They pretty much look like Trey with hair. They real light skin, and so they just don't fit in. And I had to explain that. So yes, it starts with parents, but as parents, we also have to be honest with our children so that when they are confronted or faced with certain things, that they can handle them and know how to move forward or not.
And as a person that has raised a teenage boy already, my oldest son is 26. I can tell you right now that, well, like what she's saying, at middle school, as much as we teach our kids to not worry about what other people think and all of that, just be your own individual. When they get into middle school, high school, they are concerned about what everybody thinks and all of their how their friend groups are going to precede them. Because the most important thing in their lives at that time is that social unit that they call school. That becomes their world. So the world as they know it is within the halls of those classrooms. And it's so powerful now, though, because when we was kids, it was just a classroom. They got these things now. So if you got, when we was coming up, if you got picked on, it only stayed at the school. Like, oh, you heard about such and such. But now if you get picked on, it could go viral and the whole school district knowing. You can't even transfer schools no more if you get into a fight and get beat up or something. You got to get transferred because they're going to send you to a school. Like, that's the kid right there. You see, he go to video, and that's why they be offing themselves because of that type of stuff. I got to mute because their kids is being loud.
Shut them kids up.
All I was just saying is that I think it's important. Yeah, we don't want to talk to our children about race and things like that because we don't want to make it seem like it's something. Matter of fact, I'll give you a short example. His teacher called and he was like, she was like, "William, he's a great kid, blah, blah, blah. And I've noticed that he's been a little standoffish. He hasn't been himself." She was actually calling to see, like, did somebody die? Did his dog die? Did his grandma die? Like, he's really been not himself. And I said, no, nothing that I know of. Anyways, thank you for calling. I'll talk to him when he gets home. So when I talked to him when he got home, I asked him what was going on, and he said, well, Mom, I don't have no friends. And so I was like, okay, well, moms. I'm like, that's okay. You don't need friends. Quality over quantity. I did all that crap. And quality over quantity, just you there to do your work. And then, but it dawned on me to ask him, I said, well, how many of your friends in your classroom look like you? And he said, maybe 3. And I said, and I put it together. I was like, oh, I see what it is now. And I had to have that conversation. I don't think that it would have been fair for me not to have that conversation with him.
But just a little bit pushback. Like, what if, right? Just a scenario, like we was to take up any kid and we dropped them off in a different country and we had to raise them in that other country. Like, they'd have to figure out who these kids are, what they like, what their culture is, and delve into the ability to be resilient and figure out how to make this thing work.
But then they end up with blonde hair playing guitars and shit.
Hell yeah, guitar. What's wrong with guitar, bro?
Oh, not a damn thing.
Basically, you saying they should integrate themselves with another culture that's not them to fit the fuck in instead of.
I think integrate's a strong word. I think it's understanding the different culture that you're in. You're in a different.
Well, how come they not trying to understand yours?
It's not even.
It's not like he's trying to be more.
Integrate wasn't even the word that you wanted. You was looking for assimilate, not integrate.
Yeah, assimilate. There you go. Thank you.
Neither. It's like if you go to China, you're still gonna like what was that phrase? When in Rome, do as the Romans.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a certain aspect of figuring out how this place runs because it's not what you usually do. So you got to figure out how it runs and see what you can do to.
And it might be some good parts of that. You might find some. You might like raisins in potato salad.
Listen, all I'm saying is that I wouldn't say that unless it was met halfway. If someone was trying to meet me halfway with my culture, I will always meet you halfway with yours. But if you go to Japan right now as a Black woman, first thing they're going to think is that you pop it open for for a real one. Same thing with Africa. Wait. Pause. Let me finish.
That's not
same
colorism.
thing with Africa. Huh?
That's not colorism. That's racism.
Japanese are known for their racism. Like, they're not even shy about it. They're highly racist.
All right. So just like if you went in Africa, right? A lot of us American women wear the waist beads, and we wear them as as accessory, where they're supposed to be hidden under your clothes. Now, if you wear them outside your clothes, then to them you're HOE. You out there telling them that you ready for the get down. You down, you DTF. So that's to me. I think in that situation, you might want to look at how everybody else is wearing this shit, because clearly they're not wearing it how we wear it, and it might mean something. Versus us being in America and I'm in a white school, and ain't like they ain't never seen no Black person before. You know what Black is.
And we can say the same thing.
But that goes back to the point that the brother Stricto made earlier, is that their perception of you may be limited to what they've seen on television. So if you go to one of these white bread towns where you show up and you like the only Black family in town, and their only perception of you is Boys in the Hood and what's the other one with ghosts and all of that power
and shit.
Yeah, then they're gonna think, okay, then, or Empire, like, oh, she act like Cookie.
The neighbors over here selling dope. That's what they're gonna think.
That's what they're gonna expect. That, like, if they didn't have the Cosbys and the Winslows and all of the positive imagery, you know what I mean? So they can only have a perception of you based on what it is they've perceived.
I think that goes both ways. I think that maybe Baby Boy only knew what he perceived as for white people. I'm gonna just to say, meet me halfway culturally. I teach you how to grill. You teach me how to play hockey. Win-win.
And see, this ties in the colorism too, because a lot of people romanticize these other cultures they have no idea about, because they feel like if they intermix with these people that their offspring are going to somehow be better, you know.
Oh well, yeah. If you all right, so here's the thing, right? Let people move out the hood because we want to be safer. We want to be in a better community. We want our kids to go to have a better education. And then we move out the hood and we move into their neighborhoods and we get treated like we never left the hood. Like you got that hurry up and buy look when you go to their neighborhood stores, which is now yours. Your neighborhood store, you get that hurry up and buy look. When your son walk down the street in his active wear and he not wearing that preppy shit, they're going to think he's a thug, all because they don't understand black culture. When you have a cookout, they think that it's a bunch of thugs on the lawn, but they don't understand that, you know, black people spread.
But doesn't
They
that
don't.
go back to what Tim and the other guy from the UK? I'm sorry, I don't remember his name. What they said,
Strico.
if they only see what we put out on World Star Hip Hop and Boys in the Hood and Medea and things like that, that's what their percent. Is it right? Hell no, it's not right. And you got some white folks and Asian folks that they never think that of you. You know, they'll be like, well, I like this person for who they are, and I don't depict them based off of what I've seen. But let's be real, a lot of people will just, it's no different than shut up, I'm on the phone. Yes. It's no different than when, you know, we see a shooting. Let's say we see a mass shooting on the news, right? What's the first thing we do?
It ain't us.
That ain't us. that ain't nothing but them white folks right there. We ain't do that.
Yeah,
You know,
we
so
hear a school shooting, we automatically
YP
know that ain't us.
is
we know that's
YPS.
not us. You ain't even gotta say
That's
that.
us stereotyping them.
YPS.
Right. We don't need to see a mug shot or nothing. You
We
ain't even
just
got to put a name in there. We know
we
it's
just
white folks.
a church
kind of the
shooting,
same
we
thing.
know it's not us.
Exactly. You know, so unfortunately, and this is something that I've always said, and I hate it, which is why I don't watch shit. I do not watch TV. Believe it or not, I do not watch TV. I will not watch shit like Housewives of Atlanta, Snowfall, anything that depicts us in a negative light. I do not put on my TV. I do not allow it to be played in my house. Period.
I
Because
do.
I
You
don't.
know why? I watch Housewives of Atlanta. I watch Housewives of Beverly Hills. I watch Housewives of fucking Dubai. I need I need to look at what their shows are like and what our shows are like, and then come back to the people that don't like it or say we are viewed in a negative way. They view them in the same way. Same thing with Latinos. Soon as you, if you see a cartel movie, if you see it, like everybody has their stereotype, but all I'm saying is that black and brown people, we have a special fucking stereotype, and I'm not gonna lie, there's a white stereotype as well. You know, I mean, nobody's innocent. We all do it. We all do it. No one's innocent.
Well, your purposes are different. I just genuinely don't. I don't watch it. I refuse. I refuse to let my children watch it. Um, that's just something I can't rock with.
I mean,
So I respect to you for watching it for the reasons that you do, but again, I can't. Matter of
and
fact,
those,
like Billy was watching Snowfall one day. He was like, you should watch this, and I watched one episode, and I was like, I said, you had both your parents and lived in a bougie neighborhood. I don't even know why you watching it. I know more of this life than you do. Turn that shit off.
yeah, and I think that plays into our view amongst the world because y'all spoke about it. they take the worst of our TV shows that represent us in the most negative way, because most of us on YouTube would say that we're sophisticated people, so we don't act like those people, right? But those shows are the ones that they show in all of these countries that we want to go visit. So when you get there, they already looking at you like, okay. And it don't matter if you light skin or dark skin. In America, they'll say, I'll give you a little bag if you go act as dumb as your ass can. Disrespect your grandmama, your mama, your daddy. Matter of fact, you ain't got to talk to your daddy, and we'll let people exploit that. So I think it's all, right now it comes down to the individual person. You have to want better for yourself. Look at these examples that say, that's not the fucking life I would live. That will bankrupt your children's children. Maybe I'm wrong, but I guarantee there's nothing righteous about that whole trying to fit into that life.
Yeah, I don't.
And again, I'm not trying to say, oh my God, you're the worst person because you watch the shit. No, we entertain.
I didn't feel that way. I did. Look, I watch Power. I do not watch the reality shows as much as I used to when I was younger because they're corny to me. But I only watch them things for research purposes to see if they as wretched as we are, which they are. So,
All right, so
once I figured that out, it was on to the next.
And
I watch Italian mob movies. I like crime.
And after 40 years old, you should want nobody in your family to be ratchet. No kids, no grandkids, no nothing. Because a lot of us, I'm sorry.
So this conversation, we're gonna have to revisit this.
American culture. Is being black defined as being ghetto or ratchet?
You gotta put yourself on mute, Tim.
When black culture is appropriated, why does it then become appropriate? Why are negative stereotypes defended by blacks as a standard of black culture? At what point in our history did the black community deem self-respect and classlessness as the standard of our culture?
Timothy,
Why was
you
there a
gotta
shift
go on
in
mute.
positive media that traded the black nuclear family for the images of dysfunctional behaviors? Ghetto and ratchet behavior seem to become the norm for the black community. Should there be more focus on financial literacy and pulling the community out of a level of poverty that's disproportionate to other groups? On the next episode of More Conversations with the Average Black Man, we will try to answer these questions. What is Black American culture? Is being black defined as being ghetto or ratchet?
See, that was a throwback.
I remember that.
Shout out to the crack era. The most
Shout out to the crack era, right? I lived through that too. So we didn't drop off the topic, so that lets me know that this conversation is on the topic has come to a conclusion. We can, if y'all want to keep chopping it up, we can stay here and chop it up. But I think we need to go ahead and end this live then, because we want to just be rambling all on for the next 4 hours. You dig?
That part. And I want to let the viewers know that we are going on a summer vacation. Kids is out of school. People need to spend time with their children. We are parents first. So I think all of my panelists, except for maybe one or two, we need a break. We'll be back the first week of August.
Maybe not. It depends on what day it is. My anniversary is be married 15 years, August 8th.
Congrats.
Good job.
We already did that, sir. And wait. Yes, we already did that, sir. And August 8th is on a Thursday. We will be airing on a Monday. That's the 5th.
Right, but I work on Thursday, so I got to see if I'm gonna be in town for that weekend. Which weekend we taking,
No, whether you taking the 2nd or the 3rd weekend or the 9th and 10th.
Yeah, we gotta go eat some chicken and some steaks and stuff.
Hey Trey, after they hang up, can you hang tight for a sec?
Yeah, you.
Everybody that wants to stay in the back, please stay back.
The two lightest ones here.
Yeah.
I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
Okay, anybody that wants to stay right where you are, we can continue the conversation. We're just getting ready to close the live out.
Hey, she had
Okay, thank you
great.
guys for showing up. Thank the viewers for rocking with us for 2 seasons straight. And I don't mean our seasons is not 8 episodes long. They are 13, 12 episodes long, bro. That is 2 years of watching us. Thank you for being consistent every Wednesday when we was on Wednesdays and every Monday when we are on Mondays. Thank you guys. Stay here.